Well, hello, everybody.
Hello.
We are live here with Joe and Jen from
Hello,
22
hello.
Paranormal Podcast. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing great. How you guys doing?
Good, good. Yeah, you guys are definitely better at the intros and all that other stuff than I am. I think you got way clearer music. And I hope my brother doesn't hear that because that song is one of his that I clipped up and kind of.
That's cool.
yeah.
We were rocking out to it. We were like, yeah, that's jamming. Love
Yep.
it.
He writes a lot of cool stuff. He's got his own music, but it's not a lot of it is real rocky. A lot of it is piano based and quieter and mellow, and so I don't know.
They're still pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys, where do you guys get your music from? You know a lot of band people, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, our music's all from the band Dead and Five, 60
okay.
Second Crush, and Crud.
Is it bands that you've just followed, or is it people you know, or did you used to
Yeah, it's people
play?
we know.
Okay.
My best friend Dana is the bass player in all three bands. 60 Second Crush was a band that toured all over the place. And the lead singer decided that he wanted to do something different. So
Okay.
they were like, okay, well, Tommy left the band and went on to join a punk band. And they got a new singer, and they decided to name it Dead and Five.
Cool.
So 60 Second Crush is Dead and Five. But
Okay.
like a new version. Then there's Crud. Dana is the bass player in Crud, but Crud is a high energy, like industrial band.
Okay.
And the lead singer is Vinny Dombrowski from the band Sponge.
Oh, really?
90s alternative
Mhm.
band.
Yeah, sweet.
They're
I
out
you know what?
Yeah.
I saw Sponge years ago in Toledo. They were with, I think they opened up for Candlebox
Yeah.
at the sports arena, and the singer said, "Hey man, I may be a skinny MFer, but I jump out." He was pissed off at somebody, and he was about to go fight. It was hilarious. He was going to
Sounds like
jump in that car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was laughing, man. It was funny. But so anyway,
No, we love a good hard rock Detroit band for sure.
Yep. I actually Sponge. They were one of my favorites back in the day. I mean, I really
I
liked
love
them a lot.
Sponge shows. Every
Yeah.
chance I get, we go to a Sponge
Yeah,
show.
for sure.
Are they so they're still yeah, actually, yeah, I saw a picture on your Facebook the other day that they are still playing.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. I think another one of my favorite bands from back then was Candlebox, and they're still touring. I was surprised.
Oh yeah.
They put out 3 albums back in the day, and now they're still living off of them.
I feel out of the loop because I listen to all like 80s music and just
Yeah.
like the.
They're still touring too.
I still go watch Rick Springfield in concert. So.
Oh
Yeah.
And Corey Hart.
And Corey Hart. I still listen to Corey Hart. Yep.
Okay, how
Sunglasses
deep
at
do you
night
want to
guy.
dig on that?
Yeah.
Have you listened to Hooters or
What?
Eagles?
Flock of Seagulls, yes.
Hooters, yeah.
Now, when I was in high school, when I was younger, I would go up to Canada with my great aunt and uncle for a couple weeks in the summer. And people would love it because I'd come back and I'd have music that was like European music that hadn't hit here yet.
Yeah.
And I would get like Pet Shop Boys. I knew about Pet Shop Boys before anybody else. I brought back and they're like, whoa, what is this? I'm like, yeah, I know, right? So, I mean, it was just, it was funny because I would listen to that and I would bring it back and they'd be like, wow, that's pretty cool. So that was the one perk about it, that I'd listen to the new wave stuff up there and bring it back with me. And it'd be like, yeah.
Welcome to Rock Chat, everybody.
I know, right? It's so
Now
funny.
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say when I was like a young person in my early 20s, we
Back
go up
in
to
the day.
back in the day. We go up to Ann Arbor and go to the record stores, right? And you could find some of that cool alternative stuff. And I bought this giant poster of Susie and the Banshees and had it for like years. I don't know whatever happened to it, but I wish I had it now.
Vinyl has come back. Dana's
Yeah.
daughter's really into buying collectible stuff, and they love going to record stores.
I mean, she'll even have us send her stuff, but she probably has a really good selection of vinyls. And I started it with her a while. I mean, when she was still in high school when we started, and she's been in high school since 2019. And she just, I mean, I think one of the first ones I got her was Queen.
Oh.
And she's a huge Queen fan. She actually went to see Queen for her birthday because that's how much she loved it. But she's a huge vinyl collector and just absolutely and she has like stuff that normal like 20-year-olds would not buy. She has that
Mhm.
stuff. So
Yeah, she buys a lot of classic stuff.
yeah.
Anyway, let's get into some paranormal talk since I think we're losing people because that's what they're here to see. So I want to congratulate you guys. It looked like today when I looked on Spotify and you guys are up to episode 271. Is that right?
Yes, we are.
Oh well.
That
And
was a
it's
great episode too. Kimberly
Have-
Puppy.
I have not listened to that one yet.
Oh, you'll like it.
Have you guys ever missed a week?
No.
So wow.
Even when I
how
had
many-
COVID. and,
And we haven't repeated a show yet.
yeah, that's true.
So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what, like 4.5, 5 years?
5 years. We're in our 6th
Wow.
season. Yeah.
That's pretty good. And you guys are in the top. What I saw you posted a stat a couple weeks ago,
Yeah,
like in the
for-
top 15% or something.
We're in the top 5%.
Top 5%. Yep.
Mhm.
Cool.
Paranormal podcasts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
For worldwide
Cool.
listenership.
That's
Global,
cool.
y'all.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
we
there's
have one in Japan, right?
there's a lot of them that are out there where like all they are is like ghost stories, and
Mhm.
honestly, like I can't listen to them. They've got that deep, serious narrator voice. And they're trying to scare you. And they play spooky music, and they talk about the nurse in the hospital that saw a dead man. I mean, it's just a lot of them are pretty goofy.
Oh.
Don't record that. You do not have my permission to post that.
Joe have to lower his voice like Barry White.
Welcome
Yeah.
to the Paranormal Podcast. All
You
you
sound like
cats and
Johnny
kittens.
Cash.
So what made you guys decide to do a podcast?
Jen forced me.
I did. Well, you
So
know,
it was your idea?
kind of. Joe was really into podcasting at the time, and he was listening to podcasts, and I was ghost hunting, and you know, I just had this always had this passion for anything strange, unusual, mysteries, and you know, just always wanted to figure out more, learn more. And he's like, well, you like ghost hunting and I am listening to podcasts. Let's do a podcast. I'm like, okay, I didn't know what the hell it was, but
Yeah.
I said, sure, why not? What is it? Right. And
Yep.
for two introverts who are like standing like wallflowers in the corner
Yeah.
everywhere we go, you know, is a really good outlet. So for us to be behind the mic and
Yeah.
you know, just tell some of our personal experiences and you know, discover more all about it. Because, you know, at the time I had only been doing it, you know, not like I wasn't doing any residential work or anything
Right.
like that. I was just basically ghost hunting going on.
Yeah. Yep.
And Joe's like, well, let's just try it. He had some equipment.
No, actually, I didn't have any equipment.
didn't?
I
You
went
didn't
out
have
and
any
bought the
equipment.
mics and
Yep.
recorder, and so let's do it.
Yeah.
And
So Joe, were you into the paranormal stuff too at that point, or were
I was
you
more
just
in-
that's
I
when
was
you
more into
started?
UFOs.
Okay.
And
So I thought you were more of a Bigfoot guy.
yeah, I mean, I've always liked Bigfoot too, but
Right.
I was always into UFOs and space and all that stuff and looking at the
Mhm.
stars, and I had a thing happen with my best friend Jackie when she passed away that sparked me into the paranormal aspect of it, you know, like after death experience or after death communication stuff, and it really sparked my interest in the paranormal part of it.
Yeah. Cool. So Jen, did you when did you get interested in the paranormal? Did you guys grow up in a haunted house, or did you just have an experience, or what? I mean, what got you into it?
So it really kind of started all with my dad. So, you know, my dad had seen a UFO when he was a young man. And from that time, he had always been curious about everything. I remember being a kid and we would watch Leonard Nimoy's In Search of and Unsolved Mysteries and, you know, some of the just stranger, fringy type shows. Anything we could figure out about Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, UFOs, we'd go to the library and get books out about the Loch Ness Monster. You know, that was back when you could go to the library. You can find anything. There was no online, right? Dating myself.
Right.
But you know, he always he was an avid reader and he loved mystery and treasure hunting stories, and especially the Bermuda Triangle was really fascinating. And I've always had this you know, passion for what else is out there.
Yeah. Yep.
And you know, I didn't really have any, I'll say, ghost experiences. I did have something happen when I was a young kid. I was at Hocking Hills with my family, and we were walking along this trail, and it's like a sheer cutoff cliff, I'm walking along and I stepped off the cliff.
Oh,
and I
shoot.
remember seeing my foot in the air, and some guy came out of nowhere and pulled me back. And I remember looking at him. He had a red and white plaid shirt on, like kind of bell-bottom jeans.
Yeah.
It was in the 70s because I was,
Yep.
you know, probably 4 or 5 years old, and kind of like an afro-y and glasses. And I looked up at him, and he pulled me back, and everybody turned around, and he was gone, just gone. There was nowhere this, and everybody saw him, but like he was gone. There was nowhere he could have gone. So, you know, like I can't explain it. And I was had that in the back of my mind, like, what was that?
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So
I was the same way. Like I didn't grow up in a haunted house or anything, and I, you know, just got interested in it. And, you know, I think there's a lot of unanswered questions in the paranormal field, and the Bigfoot ties into it. The, you know, the alien stuff, the cryptos, you know, all that stuff ties into one umbrella, and there's not a lot of answers. And I like to debate. I like to learn things. I like to, you know, have an open mind about everything. And that's kind of, you know, what got me into it. It sounds like you guys are kind of the same way. Like you're into all aspects of it, just not just the ghosts.
For sure. And the more you look into it, the more questions you come up with. Like everything, you go into a rabbit hole, and like you start looking in. I could be online all day. Like they have one little thought, like what is this? And then boom, you're like 17 videos into something.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Like,
and really, to be honest with you, everything that I thought I knew 5 years ago, not everything, but a lot of the things I've totally changed my opinion on.
Yeah. Because
of, you know, what I've learned and what I've seen. And, you know, I've had mediums tell me stuff that they can do that, like, if you would have told me 5 years ago, I'd have been, there is no freaking way. You can sit in your living room, go to somebody's house, do a reading on their house, you know, come back, you know, not live go to their house, but in spirit, come back and tell me what's going on in their house and what's in their house and details of their house and all that other stuff. Wow. 5 years ago, I would have said, you're full of crap. But I mean, but I know someone that can do it.
Yeah, that's interesting. And Joe and I just like, the more, you know, every episode we do, there's like probably 10 offshoots of that. Like, so there's never a lack for topics. You know, you can always find something interesting or a new location. Yeah. Or, you know,
one thing I've
doing something cool.
One thing I've had not an issue with, but like, I'm introverted too, so I don't get out and talk to a lot of people, but like finding guests, has that ever been a challenge for you guys doing a podcast, is finding guests to have on?
In the beginning. Yeah. Because, you know, people don't know who you are. They don't, you know, you're just this person saying, hey, be on my show. And, you know, they're like, who are you? But, you know, now that we've had a couple seasons under our belt and interviewed some of the, you know, people that are, I'll say celebrities, but I use that term loosely because believe me, we met someone. But anyways, but you know, it's like it's almost like you got to pay your dues, right? Like you have to have good content, because if you're just up there, like I've listened to podcasts where they're just like every other word's the F-bomb, and there's no content and there's no direction, and you know, you have to have something interesting and something new for somebody to listen to, because they've heard a lot of people who listen to podcasts or been in the paranormal, they know like what ghost hunting 101 is, right? Like everybody knows that, like this is a spirit meter, you know what it is. But to bring something, you know, like maybe a ghost story or a haunted location or a legend or, you know, something different, a new cryptid to talk about, people are like, oh, listen to that. And like that painting behind you, that's really funny.
Well, let's talk about that painting real quick.
You know, one thing that we do that a lot of other podcasts don't do, and this is a good way that we get our guests, is we actually go to a lot of conventions.
A
lot of conventions. And we actually interview people on the fly. Like we'll see a celebrity or that, and you know, they'll be like, Jeff Belanger sitting there. And we'll say, hey, Belanger, get over here, get on the microphone. And a lot of them say, heck yeah, let's do it. And I mean, we meet a lot of people that way. We've made friends that way. but that is one of the good ways to get celebrity, or people in the paranormal or in the Bigfoot community or UFO community on the show, is to get out there and go to where they're at and get in the conventions. And nowadays, when we go to conventions, it's like a family reunion.
Yeah.
Certain ones that we go to, we know that the same people are going to be at those same ones. We just
I noticed that Saturday that you guys pretty much knew everybody that was there, and I was like, I don't know most of these people.
But we've also done well over 100 conventions.
Have you ever ran into somebody that you really want to talk to, and they're just like, you don't have to say who it is, but then been disappointed when like they're kind of a jerk or like won't come on your show, or you know what I mean, something like that?
Yeah.
Well,
I won't mention her name.
Yep.
I won't, but I think everybody would probably know this is on this show. This one cable show.
This one cable show.
No,
they're kind of kindred, it's just,
But, I mean, was it a show about spirits or Bigfoot, or was it
about spirits?
Something along that line. But
the guy that was on the show, he is really cool.
Yeah.
He talks to us at the conventions, but but the thing is, okay, there are some that we've asked to be on the show and they said no. But the reason they say no is, one, they may be under contract where they can't.
Yeah.
And two, it's like they're getting so many people talk to them at the conventions that they don't want to. And then we've had them where they're like, no, man, we just can't do it at the show or at the convention. And then we see them in the hotel later and they're like, hey man, when are we going to do it? And I'm like, all our equipment's in there.
Yeah.
So get a hold of us online or whatever, and we'll do it later. And we've done that,
I think a lot of them too, like, especially like if they're on TV and stuff, they have they want to control the environment. They want to control the structure. They don't want to be set up, not that you would set people up, but you know what I'm saying? They want to know who they're being interviewed by, and they want to know what kind of questions you're going to ask and all that other stuff. And, they got that image to protect.
90% of the people that we talk to that are on TV and that are not like that.
Yeah.
But
that's
the big problem that they have is they're under contract where sometimes they can't talk to anybody unless the what is it?
Network.
The network sets it up for them.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah.
I think that was a spoof in a baseball movie where the one kid wanted his baseball card autographed, and the guy said, "Oh no, I can only sign the Topps brand or something."
Yeah.
Some shit like that. Like, oh god. But yeah, it's we had a similar experience a couple weeks ago, and if he were to ever see this, I hope he doesn't take this the wrong way because I'm not bashing him, but he didn't want to do a video show. And he, said that at the last minute he would only do audio. And at first I was really pissed off, but then I got to thinking, it's like, well, he is a Hollywood guy, and he's got an image to uphold. I'm sure that's, that he's got to be in a studio setting for any of his, video to get out, not, some little Facebook page show from Toledo. So, I kind of get it, those guys, and especially with everybody recording everything and everybody's got a camera, like, you can edit things and make some of those people sound bad and stuff like that. And it's they just really got to protect themselves.
Yep.
I interviewed, or it wasn't just me. We talked to the mayor one time, Wade Kapsakavich, and like going over that footage, I could have made him look like the nicest guy in the world or the biggest jerk in the world.
Yeah.
Personally, I think he was a super nice guy, knew a lot about history, a lot of stuff, but like, you can really that's the first time I realized that, through the power of editing, you can really sway an opinion one way or the other about a person. You can really change who they are. And that's, it's kind of dangerous and scary and it sucks, but that's probably why those guys do that.
And that happens a lot on those reality shows. Like they will edit it to make a person a villain or make somebody the hero. And,
Yep.
Just like those same shows are the ones that there's always demons. There's always demons. There's never any positive energies. It's always negative demon energy.
Yeah.
Well,
sure.
Personally, I think, personally, when I watch the ghost shows, to me, the darker stuff is more entertaining than, you know what I mean? Than the nice stuff.
You want to be
scared.
That's
why they watch those.
Yes, exactly. It's like watching a horror movie. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
For
the
sure.
roller coaster ride. Like they build you up, they drop you down, they put,
Yep. Yep.
and people have to understand that that is an entertainment show, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
As well as everybody probably listening that you could sit in a darkened room for 8 hours and get 1 second of footage,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
One clip.
Yep.
And they
Yep.
get like 14 and 30-minute,
Yeah.
shows. So,
But then again, too, there's been times where I've been on investigations where I've gotten more than say the average, Ghost Adventures episode gets.
Yeah.
And it's like, so you can almost tell how good of a location it was by how long their intro segment was.
yeah.
Because if they talk about the history and do a lot of the stage stuff and all that,
Yeah.
this could be a shitty episode. They didn't catch nothing.
There's been
We're
times
still
where
watching.
we've got out of the car
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
started hearing voices, and I'm like, set up the equipment. Let's get the recorders
Yeah.
going.
And that happens every time we go to the Ohio State Reformatory because we've
Yeah.
done multiple conventions there, and we will be in there at 9:00 in the morning setting our banners and our booths up, and there's all kinds of activity going on.
Yeah.
Like those prisoners are like, "What are you doing? What's
Yeah.
going on? Tap
Well,
tap
speaking
tap, pull pull pull."
Yeah. Speaking of that, you guys caught some stuff on your show.
We
Yeah.
You guys caught some stuff on your show that we can go over real quick.
Sure.
We have
I'm
listeners
gonna
that email us and say, "Hey, I heard this." I'm like,
Yep. Well, and I asked you the other day too when you told me about it. I was like, "Well, is that internet bleed over?" And you're like, "No, we record right into this recorder." I'm like, "Oh yeah." So that wouldn't be,
Yeah.
one right
and
here.
so it is. It's like a EVP session pretty much.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's go to the first one. I will let you guys talk about it. Let me get there real quick.
You have to let us
So
know which one it is.
this one is the one that you sent me. It's called the Greenbriar EVP clip.
Mhm.
All right.
So what I'm going to do is I'll play the raw version, and I think it plays it. I set it up to where it'll play twice, and then we'll discuss it for a little bit, and then we'll play the enhanced one. So let's go watch this video real quick.
Get up there on Jen's page, her Poshmart.
Oh,
The
Mark.
the link's in the description below.
And share your Greenbriar ghost story with us. I'm so glad we didn't call it Grost. I was so worried about that.
What was that?
That was weird. I hope you guys all heard that.
Yeah.
Interesting. We're going to.
So yeah, that was. I guess I only played it once, but I mean, and you said when you caught that one, that was because you record on 2 channels on your recorder, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that one came
That's
through your
different.
microphone, but not Jen's.
Yep. And it was
Oh,
weird because
wow.
I could hear it in my headphones, but it
Right.
was not on my track.
Yeah.
Because Joe, what happens is, we have multiple tracks, and then Joe layers them
Yeah.
when he edits. But it only was
Yep.
on his track, and it was so weird because we were just we were talking about the story, and if people aren't familiar with the case, it's the only legitimate documented case where a ghost evidence of a ghost testimony was used in a murder trial to convict.
really?
Oh, wow.
killer. Yeah.
The
Huh.
person actually was convicted because of the testimony
Yeah.
of the spirit, and the way she did it was she communicated with the
Really?
mother
Mm-hmm.
through different forms of communication, and the mother explained exactly what happened.
Yeah. So the ghost told her mother what happened in detail, and the husband who had murdered his wife was convicted based on that testimony.
So was
Now-
this like modern era? Like, was she communicating with the ghost through EVPs in a recorder, or did the ghost come and actually talk to her?
No, this was in the late 1800s, so probably into the early turn of the century, and so it was just eyewitness testimony
Yeah,
from the mother, had dreams, and the apparition appeared to her.
Man, that's a crazy
Wow.
story.
Yeah.
I'm going to play the enhanced one then
So-
now.
And the weird thing is, okay, so when we record, Jen, we're sitting about the same distance apart, but she's on the other side of the table.
Right.
So the microphones are still kind of close. Like when I edit, I have to when I'm talking, I silence her track. And then when
Yep.
I'm talking, I silence mine so that you don't get that echo effect.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
So if it was something in the room, it would have picked it up in both microphones.
Right.
And I went over every piece of equipment to figure out, okay, what would make that sound? And there's nothing that we use that would have made that sound.
You guys recorded with the Zoom.
Zoom H6.
Yeah. Yep. So I've never ever heard anything like that because I have the same recorder and I've never heard anything like that before. And you guys use the directional microphone so that like it
Yeah.
doesn't pick it up as good over here as
Right.
it does right in front of it.
Yep.
So and certainly when you get behind it, it picks it up, but not near as loud as like talking right into it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
And I apologize in the end for going, yeah.
no, I don't blame you, dude.
I am dork.
That's pretty cool. I'm gonna play the enhanced version real quick, and you can really then hear what it is. But that's creepy.
Get up there on Jen's page, her Poshmart.
Ooh,
The
Mark.
the link's in the description below.
And share your Greenbriar ghost story with us. I'm so glad we didn't call it Grost. I was so worried about that.
What was that?
That was weird. I hope you guys all heard that.
Yeah.
Interesting. We're going to.
The link's in the description.
Okay, yeah, we heard it. I don't need to play that twice.
Yeah,
But
it-
so,
That wasn't the enhanced version, though.
oh, it wasn't.
No, because I cut out her microphone so you didn't hear her talking.
Oh, okay.
I
Well,
could
I
play
must
it.
have accidentally put the. Yeah, if you can try and play that, but
Give me a
so
second.
like,
Up.
yep. While you're looking for it, I'm going to ask Jen a question. So, what do you think that was? I mean, what do you think? I mean, is your house haunted, or is it? Do you think something followed you home, or was it the topic that you guys were talking about related to that? I mean, what do you think it was?
Well, we were recording here at Joe's house. He set one of his bedrooms as the recording studio.
Mhm.
And so, I really just, I think it was unexplainable, but I would just feel like it was maybe that spirit trying to communicate.
Yeah.
Like, or, because the topic was of her being murdered.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And, we're talking really deeply about that. You just never know. It's weird because like I don't know if you guys experience this, but when we're listening for EVPs and maybe a haunted location or a haunted home, you don't really hear any. It's more when people are interacting and just having
Yeah.
casual conversations is when you pick up stuff like
Yep.
that.
yep. I've definitely caught more during like
Yeah.
we always walk in and set a recorder somewhere.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And in a video camera too, so you can verify where everybody is and all that other stuff. But it does seem to be when just casual, normal things are going on, not when you're asking questions. I mean,
Right.
we've
Okay,
caught
I've
a lot
got
of
it
that
for you
lately.
here if you want to leave.
All right, go ahead and play that. Yeah.
The link's in the description below. And
Share your Greenbriar ghost story with us. I'm so glad we didn't
Wow.
call it Grost. I was so worried about
That's just
What was
crazy.
that?
Yeah.
that.
That just is a, yeah, that's just crazy.
yeah.
You just can't explain it because there was
No.
you're like
And
we-
it's like, and it's not anything that you can even put like, okay, that could be the, I mean,
Mhm.
there, you
Yep.
can't, there's
Yeah.
nothing you can even say. It's like this. It's like,
So
you
that
can't.
Just-
wasn't the show mix. That was your track, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty creepy, man. That's
And that's why when I played that version, you don't hear. It's like I'm talking, then I stop talking,
Yep.
and Jen starts, but you can't hear her
right.
because
Yeah.
it's her track.
yeah.
Yep. So
I
that's,
don't-
yeah, I'm gonna have to look up that story. That's I never heard that story before.
Really
That's pretty cool.
interesting. Yeah.
Where did that happen? Like, was it Ohio or was it?
I can't remember.
You'd have to look it up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's,
Thinking it's probably somewhere in the Midwest because there's like a one of those historical markers you see
Okay.
like for like
Yeah.
locations and stuff. They
Yep.
actually have one for that story. I'm thinking
Cool.
it's Indiana, but I could be Illinois.
yeah.
You know, that
I don't
area.
remember.
How'd you guys happen upon that story? Did you drive by the historical marker and see it and say, hey, we got to check this out? Or was it?
I just looking up stuff,
Okay.
on Googling
Yeah.
like,
Different
local
topics and stuff.
legends and
Yep.
things like that. I had heard it before, but it was a long time ago and I didn't really put two and two together. But I'm like, I
Yeah.
heard that story before, but I think I probably read it in one of those like, haunted
Yep.
Michigan or
Like the haunted Ohio, but
yeah.
whatever state. Yep. Gotcha. So you guys have had this several times, but here's another one. I'm going to play this one too. This is I don't want to say what it is because I don't want to
Yeah.
tip off. I want people to hear it for themselves and they can actually, let's play a little game. So we're going to play this clip at least once. I might play it twice and tell us all what you hear come through the spirit box.
And I'll explain to the situation afterwards.
Yep. And you definitely have an advantage if you have headphones, probably.
Mhm.
Because I really couldn't hear it through my computer speakers. I could hear it through my phone speakers, but here, I'll go ahead and play this one.
Whose house am I in right now? We're trying to confirm that you know who lives here. Whose house am I in right now? We're trying to confirm that you know who lives here.
It's two different things, I think.
Well, I know what it is, but let's go back to the comments. Nobody give it away yet. I want to hear if
are the comments up there? I'm not seeing any on my end.
Are you not seeing them?
You guys, sometimes you can say
there
it's
they are. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
No.
now to me, it sounds like two different things. When
Okay.
I hear it, because sometimes I think female wise, and then sometimes I think male wise. So the one, it sounds like Rachel.
Wait. Whoa, we're gonna give our listeners a chance to weigh in
I'm
here.
just trying to do my.
I know.
here.
We'll let you guess after we get some guesses in. So I guess if you got a guess, we're gonna give you all 30 seconds to guess again. I'll play it one more time and then we'll give you 30 seconds to guess and see if anybody's got it. Here we go.
Whose house am I in right now? We're trying to confirm that you know who lives here. Whose house am I in right now? We're trying to confirm that you know who lives here.
All right, so I'm back in the comments. So Carmen thinks it's Rachel.
Ironically funny. That is Carmen.
Shelly thinks it says Michelle. Actually, the question almost gives the answer away.
Yeah.
But I think, okay, because like I said, I think it says Rachel, female thinking wise. But it also sounds, if you start thinking it sounds like Hey Joe. So
let's. I mean, in your opinion, Joe, what do you think it says?
All right.
Dan says peach in a bloom.
what do you figure?
That's Dan, though.
Remember, I told you that I had an experience with my best friend Jackie, who passed away.
Mm-hmm.
She actually was on life support, and they unplugged her, and they actually ripped the plug out of the wall and said, "Yay!" No,
Oh God, damn, I hope not.
But I had experience with her, and
Mhm.
since she's passed, and if anybody wants to know the whole story, it's a long story. I'll tell you later. But I've had a lot of communication from her in forms of, dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one REO Speedwagon song that she played over and over and over and over. It comes up in the weirdest places. I'll think about her, walk into a store, and the song will come on. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
A lot of dreams, and actually the first dream I had of her was 2 days after she passed, and she was in my dream, and I actually looked at her and said, "Last time I saw you, you were dead." But
No.
anyhow, so that is her voice, and I believe she's saying, "Hey, Joe."
And what the thing was, though, we were in here when we were recording, we were
Mhm.
podcasting, and I was looking towards out the doorway towards Joe's bedroom, and right in front of the door in his bedroom, I saw a blue ball of light. And it wasn't like there was an orb or anything. I saw it with my own, I wasn't looking through anything.
Like a visible orb.
It was a visible blue orb. And I said, "Oh my God, I just saw something." And I ran towards it. And that's when I had my phone in one hand and the digital recorder, or the SB7 in the other.
Right.
I said, what you guys heard. And it was her voice.
Yeah.
That's
her voice.
that's pretty cool when you get confirmation, not just like what it says, but like the tonality of the voice.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know there's a lot of people that think the spirit boxes are BS and the ghost boxes and all that stuff. But okay, so let's say you randomly got "Hey Joe"
Yeah.
But then to get it in her voice, I mean, I'd say the odds are almost impossible.
Yeah. I mean,
that
I
anything
understand it
could have
saying,
happened on accident that way.
Yeah. I can understand it saying, like, hearing a radio station.
Yeah.
Saying
Coming up next, we got
that,
Hey Joe by Jimi Hendrix. You know,
Yeah.
and you picked up the Hey Joe part, but
Mhm.
but man, when you're getting a personal
the timing, of her saying that and hitting record,
right,
and then that coming up, it's
Yeah.
freaky.
Yeah.
that's a good story though.
It's interesting. I captured after my dad died. I was in my bedroom, well, in my house, and I have famously talked about all this stuff that goes on in my house. But I just felt somebody standing there, right? Like, that feeling, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
You can't, you can't say, oh, that was something, when you
Right.
know, right?
Mhm.
And so I picked up my phone and I said, tell me who this is, so I know, because I've had other spirits in my house, and
Right.
I said, tell me your name, and in my dad's voice, I said Dick, which was his name. His name was Richard. We call him Dick.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. And it's just it's so profound when you hear somebody's voice that what their voice sounds
Right.
like.
Yep. And I know
it doesn't happen very often, but man, oh man, when it does, it's like, oh my God.
I know Dana has personal experiences with I guess familiar spirits. That's one thing I've really never had, is like I've never caught an EVP of, like, my mom who passed away. I've never caught her voice, somebody that I know. I've never had that happen
See,
before.
but now that you're in this house, you might.
Yeah.
No, I just get people that wake me up in the middle of the night and say, oops, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, because like in my house, I have a shadow that for the longest time I never knew what it was, but it was the same shadow all the time. And we found out, and eventually I found out it is my son. That I lost my son when I was 6 months pregnant with him.
Wow.
So we know the shadow is him now. So he's like the guardian of it was like he's kind of the guardian, because this used to be the girls' room. And so he would walk from like this doorway out. And then if you turn the hallway, then my bedroom's right there. But it would walk right through, and it would be continuously all the time.
Wow.
And it was like a dark shadow. But then when we finally realized it was him, the shadow has lightened now, so I know he's a different color shadow now, so I always know it was almost like he was dark enough so I would until I realized and accepted it was him. And then now that I accept him, he's now a lighter shadow. So but he still does the same thing, but now he moves more around the house, so we'll see him throughout the house.
Oh, that's cool.
Doing things. And Jeff, I think he's gotten Jeff a couple times, just like peek, and like I'll see him peek out. I can't know from different things, but now we have a new shadow since Jeff's moved in, and he's brought some of his things. We have a new shadow. We have a new shadow, but we don't know who it is yet, and it's a dark shadow again, so we don't know who it is. Because it's like once I know who it is, it's like the shadow turns to a lighter color, so it's much. I know who it is then, and they move similar, so then there's always a similar movement when they move, so I always know who it is then. So
interesting.
So yeah, so it's Jeff kind of is like, I want this to happen. It's like, well, we've had actually since he's moved in, we've had some weird things. Like actually the night before, I swear to God, something was trying to bite my toe, and it was not a dog.
Oh,
and yeah, so I'm like, okay, I've actually had I've got a
ghost.
Yeah, right. Well, and it's weird because I have gotten scratched since he's been here, and we can't figure out what did it, and because we couldn't replicate the scratch, so I'm thinking he brought stuff home, but so he's hoping that all this stuff happens. I'm like, yeah, but then you don't see it or anything. I'm the one that has to deal with it. So I was like, no, I don't know. I just want it around.
I think the scratch is actually where, like, one of my theories is that she was kind of, teasing me a little bit that night. Yeah. And I really thought maybe it was like something that was trying to protect me.
We think he has an attachment.
Yeah. So, but
there's
yep.
Yeah, because he's had an attachment before, but we're thinking maybe he has a female attachment that just was upset with me messing with him. So
I'm like Adam. I have a ghost girlfriend.
Yeah.
I've met 2 psychics now and become friends with them. But when we first met them, it was in separate conventions, and each one, the first time they looked at me and said, "You got an attachment." And I'm like,
Oh, really?
Whatever. And,
Yeah, I hope it's a good one.
yeah, I went to the other convention and met this other psychic, and she looked at me. She says, "You got an attachment." I'm like,
Did
"Okay,
you ever
well,
feel like you did, or
no?"
no?
Maybe
Because
someone
I'll tell
I'm
you what.
cursed. I know my love life is cursed.
Joe has the
so-
worst luck of anybody. Like, you could buy like $10 million worth of scratch off tickets and not win $1.
I do have a cash explosion ticket in for this weekend, so hopefully my name will get drawn.
Oh, I gotta do that.
Yep. So yeah, I did have one time, and I had a psychic confirm it, and or not a psychic but a medium, and it was like, man, I'll tell you what, I'll never forget that feeling again. Like I knew it was there, and I knew it was bad, and I couldn't shake it, and it was for a few months. And I'm not saying I was being possessed or but man, it was bad. There's actually so a little side project I have going on that someday I'll put it out. I think it's probably done, but and I go into like the dark state of depression that I was in during that time, and I really think it was something paranormal that was influencing it. But I'm calling this one. It's going to be called Behind the Mask, and it's basically the theme of the thing is, and I'll show some videos that that's why I haven't put it out yet, because there's a lot of really personal videos in there, but I really have to show them to get the impact, because people that know me would look at that and be like, you're acting, or what, man, you were screwed up. Like what that's not you at all.
This was right before we met.
Right.
So, I mean, maybe a month or so before we met when he did this. So it's kind of interesting.
And it's all, the moral of the story is going to be, just be cool to people, because you never know what they're going through. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like you really, and I've been an asshole to people sometimes, but like, I really, after going through that, it's like, man, you never know. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Yeah. Carmen says she remembers. Yeah. She's the one that, like, I don't want to say delivered me from the attachment, but like got rid of it. Yeah.
Detached you.
Well,
yes.
It's a new term now.
Joe and I went to West Virginia Penitentiary, and after I got back there, I know I had something attachment. I felt like it was weird. It felt like there was something inside me pulling me down. Like my insides were being pulled down all the time. And I was like, this isn't me. This isn't like me. You know, I just was not myself, and I knew it, but it was so weird. So we had gone to a convention, and there was a Native American shaman, and he came up and he like pulled that thing right out. I was like,
oh, really?
Like myself again all of a sudden. Yeah, it was weird. Cool. Yeah, it's
like ripping duct tape off. He just
Yep.
So you guys do ghost hunting and stuff too, and paranormal investigations and stuff like that. What is this kind of shifting gears a little bit, but like what is the scariest place you've ever been to? Like where you were actually like legit scared, like I really think I might need to get out of here.
Man.
I would say for me, and it's not what you think, but it was Old St. Joseph Hospital.
Okay.
In Elyria. Love that place. Oh my God. It was so active. But I wasn't afraid of the ghosts. I was afraid of the homeless people that broke in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That would be scary.
As big as it was, and as many little nooks and crannies, and we're walking along, and all of a sudden we found a door that was open. So we knew someone was in there somewhere.
Yeah.
So the living is scarier than the dead.
Yeah. I do agree with that, but I've been scared a few times. Jen, you got any?
I would say West Virginia Penitentiary, because we were down in the Sugar Shack, and
okay, yep.
It's famously where just anything went. They just throw people in there and lock them in there, like guards. But it was so beyond dark in there. Like, I mean, there was zero light. And it started playing tricks with you, because you know how, like, when you're it is so dark, your eyes start seeing colors and shapes, and it was scary. That really frightened me. I was like, I gotta get out of here.
And don't they set that up for a haunted attraction too? And was it decorated that way when you went there? Okay,
I don't think it was set up. There was props, but we didn't.
Okay,
we knew that props were there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't like that place. But the scariest thing that ever scared me just happened this week. Like,
oh, really?
For real. Like, I wish, and normally I'm like, like nothing really scares me because like listen, unless you're like the demon coming at me or something, I'm like, all right, I'm not that frightened of ghosts, right? Because they're just people, right? Like dead people. But I was in my house, and the night before I'd heard a woman coughing twice. I heard it, and the first time I played it off because I had the TV on, I had my laptop on, and I was looking at my phone, so like it could have been any of that.
Yeah.
But it was audible, and I was like, okay, whatever. And I live in a brick house, so it's very hard to hear sounds through the, that type of material. And then I went into my bedroom, and everything was off, and I was just throwing the covers over. Like, I'm in bed because I was tired. I don't need my beauty sleep. I'm 50-year-old old now. But and I heard it again, and I was like, and I know there generally is not people. I have a lot on each side of my house, and then I have a fence all the way around the whole property. So like people wouldn't just casually be walking through. You'd have to come into my property. And then the following night I heard a man's voice in my house. And
oh really?
It was so loud that I about jumped out of my skin. And at first I thought, okay, somebody's on my porch because it was that loud.
Yeah.
But then I was like, it was pretty like right in my right here, and I was like shaken. I almost called the police. Because I thought, okay, either somebody's in my house or there's somebody on my porch and they're probably going to break in. Yep. But I generally, like on the weekdays, don't have a lot of people up and down my street. Maybe on the weekend because there's a bar at the end of the street. But so I didn't call the police. I probably should have. So what I did was like, I set off my car alarm because I thought outside they're going to get scared.
Good call. Good call.
Yeah. And then I flipped all the lights on in the house, and then I couldn't sleep because I was like, in my mind was like, okay, did I really hear that? Right? Like, am I cuckoo? Am I like having, weird stuff? So I called my friend over, and she has abilities, and I called her over, and as soon as she walked in the house, and this is like at midnight, right? And I got to work. I got to get up for work in 5 hours. Yep. And she walks in the house, and she's like, you got a lot of spirits here. And I'm like, dude.
I was going to ask, so where'd you go and what'd you come home with?
Well, let's see, where were we before that?
I mean, you were at the Oliver house Saturday, but I don't think.
I don't think. No. I don't think there's anything there.
No.
Did I say that out loud?
Yeah. No.
We won't tell.
But that was really like the one thing that like just really shook me because I didn't know what it was. Right? Like, was it truly somebody outside, or was it in the house? But it was just so there. It was just loud. It was just, and then for my friend to come in and say, you have a lot of spirits here. And then she's like, your dad's here too. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like Shorty can be here. I'm cool with that. But, I've had other people tell me that there are, like just from like me meeting them.
Yep.
Like,
you guys live in West Toledo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Harold has a theory that neighborhood in this, this is kind of verified. Like that area lights up every few years, and it's crazy because he'll get like nothing for 3 years, then all of a sudden every call he gets is from the 5 Points area, and
it's on a ley line. So, and there's creeks that run through this area. So you've got the water. There's rail yards. There's just they say like Sylvania Avenue is actually a ley line because, when they map the streets out, these streets were put there because they were paths that people took. And, people would follow animals, and animals use their magnetic, intuition to follow certain ley lines. So, there's, something to that.
That explains Tremainesville.
Yeah, exactly.
That street makes no damn sense.
I know, right? And it's so bumpy, and underneath it is all brick, right? So it's a very old street. And did you know that there was a? Well, I don't know if I should go into that. All right,
go ahead.
Scratch that. No. There was a report that one of Ohio's first serial killers lived on Tremainesville.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. I know what you're talking about. That's the Sylvania 1857 murder.
Right.
The return ward.
Yeah.
Supposedly lived on Tremainesville.
So many cases around here too. You know,
Yeah.
I know Harold had several cases.
Well, that Maxwell case that ended up on that one TV show, that's in the 5 Points area.
yeah.
Yeah,
it's
but even during COVID,
black.
we had
Yeah,
when
we did.
everything was blacked out. We did
We did 3 or 4 blessings over in
that
5
area.
Points
Yeah,
last year. Yep.
yeah.
I had a couple weird things happen here at the house. One night I woke up and there was about a 7 to 10 foot tall black shadow figure in the shape of a person leaning over my bed. And he had one hand down on the bed looking at me.
Ooh.
I just looked up and I'm kind of like, yeah. And it disappeared. And then I spent the next hour and a half trying to figure out, okay, what lighting is where.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then,
I had a oh, go ahead.
and then I actually saw a red shadow figure on the other end of the bedroom standing there, and it blinked out the same way that one did. So
That's scary.
who knows?
I had a similar situation in that, like, so my son's been okay. I gotta get my hand on. So his room, or we had a basement that was finished, and he would always fall asleep on the couch over here.
Mhm.
My couch was here, and the TV was here, and then the bathroom. So he would have had to travel like this to go to the bathroom. And I swear to God, with everything in me, I watched him cross the TV, but it was a black shadow. So I couldn't, I just assumed it was him getting up and going to the bathroom. And then, but he never came back. So I got up and looked, and he was still in his, sleeping on his couch.
Yeah.
Like, and I like, dude, I watched that thing. That was solid person. Just for 5 to 7 seconds walk across. I was like,
That's
oh
what this
my
looked
God.
like.
That is crazy.
Jeff gave me a little bit of a scare yesterday because I called him. I'm like, Jeff, where are you? Because I was in the back room and I kept seeing a shadow. I'm like, Jeff, and he was quiet. For once, he was being quiet, moving back and forth. He goes, yeah, I've been in and out of the kitchen several times. I'm like, okay, so it's not something new. It's you. I'm like, all right.
We were at Jen's house one day, and I forget what we were talking about, but we were sitting there talking, and a black shadow walked right in between us.
I
We were
mean,
both
like-
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
How was that?
I know. We both
Like
just
during
looked
the
at it
day?
like, yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
it was.
You know,
it
I
was
think
solid
it's-
too. It was solid. We were
Yeah.
both just like, I got goosebumps just thinking about it because it was just like right between.
I
us.
think it's just, in the nature of what we all do. It's just, it's going to happen. It's going to happen a lot. I mean, we definitely have times where like stuff will seem to be active or weird stuff will go on, then nothing will happen for 2 months. And then it's like, then all of a sudden, crazy stuff goes on for a month straight. It's like,
Yeah.
it's just, it goes in waves
In
and
waves,
phases.
yeah.
It's kind of, it's weird.
Yeah.
for sure.
So
Let's talk about that picture behind you.
let's discuss this story. Cause you all set me up hardcore. That's the best.
I had nothing to do
I
with
have
it
been-
at all.
Yes, you
No.
did, you liar. Did you watch the broadcast of me and Harold talking crap about you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, the picture, and I told this story Saturday night, so I'll be quick about it. But like,
There's
we
some
went
people that haven't heard it though. So
we went to the paranormal convention Saturday at the Oliver House, and the picture behind me, I'd been staring at all day, and I was just debating, like, man, do I want to spend
And this
120
was
bucks on that?
the minute we walked in there, he
Yep.
was like right there. As soon as it was set up,
Yeah.
he was like focused on this picture.
And and I've never bought art for myself. Certainly not art that was 120 bucks. And I was like, all day I'm thinking like, okay, I'm going to go see what he'll take for that, see if I can talk him down a little bit. So finally Dana says, you
No,
better go ask about
Finally, you decided to take a nap.
Yeah, I took a little nap underneath the table, but we're
Yeah.
not talking about that.
We're at the convention, and you disappeared. And we're like,
Dude, I was so tired.
you rolled the table. Thank God for table covers.
It was the perfect spot, man. It was actually pretty comfortable.
You made a table for it.
Yep, exactly. So Dana finally said, you better go talk to that guy about that painting and see what he'll take for it. So I went over there. The guy's name is, I don't remember his last name, but
Brian.
it's Brian.
Dan
Joe, do
House.
you know it? Dan
Dan
House?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dan
Great
Housen.
guy.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, he seemed like a cool guy. But, well, actually, he didn't seem like a cool guy. That's part of the story. I'll tell that part in a second. So I go over there and I'm like, hey, I was just curious about that painting right there. And he's like, somebody bought it. I was like, oh, shit. So then I'm thinking, okay, you know what? Here's what happened. Dana bought it, and she told me to go over there because she was setting me up. Well, then Harold comes over and he says, yeah, that guy's going to make me a painting just like that one for $100. And I'm thinking, okay, so Harold's in on this too. Like, what the hell's going on? So I figured, so I kind of dropped it. But, I had talked to that guy a couple times that day or after that. And I was like, this guy's kind of a jerk. Like, I was going to ask him to make me one, and I'm thinking, but I think he was just shy because he was in on the joke. And
Yeah.
I was like, God, what? So then me and Harold go on to do a broadcast, and all of a sudden Joe walks over and picks this painting up that he just bought. I'm like, God, dude. So we're sitting here, not cussing you out on live TV, but we're like, you're not our friend no more. We're not ghost hunting together no more. It's like, son of a bitch. So then later on, when we go to pack up, I go outside, and the video's on Facebook too. But I go outside, and there's that painting in the trunk. I was just like, oh my God.
And I had to
all
flaunt it
got me
in front of you.
Yes, yeah, you flaunted it, man. I was like, God. Ooh, Shelly's. Hang on a second.
It's
Shelly's
funny.
chiming
I
in here.
noticed that too. I swore I saw the door moving too.
It was probably the dogs
Yeah.
going in the bathroom because they like to move that door. So that probably was because one of them, Boo's barking right now. So they probably were.
Or she's
moving.
barking at the ghost that moved it. We'll see.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, so that was this. If not everybody knows, so that was Jeff's wedding present early for him. And if
a
everybody
wedding
knows,
present.
I
That's
normally do
hilarious.
not allow. I don't normally let him buy crazy stuff like this, and so this is his one crazy thing that I actually bought for him.
Yep.
That I won't probably let him buy anything else like that. So that's probably the last of it.
That being said, I will buy what I want.
And when I grabbed the painting, all I saw was Jeff looking up going,
I know.
I wasn't mad. I was disappointed. And I'm like, and then I told Dana afterwards, I'm like, you know what? Harold's buying one. Joe has one. I don't freaking want one no more.
He
I
goes,
don't
I
want
wanted it. He was so funny. He's like, I wanted it, and everybody else has it now, so I don't want it anymore. And he was like, I'll find something different I want to buy. And I was just like laughing. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so.
Hopefully Harold's not still watching, but I told Becky, I said, don't you let him buy one like that. That's a one of a kind. That's mine. It's unique. I want it for myself. Harold has all kinds of crazy stuff. I want this for myself.
Yeah. So let me tell you, he was so excited when this got home. I think he put that up before he did put any of his other stuff away, put the cameras away, any of that. He put that up. That was his like pride and joy of putting up. So
Nice.
Well, I think, that's kind of a cool way to wrap it up. There's a lot of other stuff I wanted to talk to you guys about, but I try and keep it at about an hour. And, like there's all kinds of stuff about podcasting that I'd like to get into. And, maybe we'll have to have you guys on again sometime. Cause like I said, I try and keep it an hour and, but good conversation. I had fun.
Yeah.
I did.
I mean, it's like, I think we could sit and share ghost stories probably for, 3 or 4 hours.
Right?
Easy.
and once we start talking about, stuff we've been talking about lately about how we really don't know anything about ghost hunt or what ghosts are and stuff, to get down that rabbit hole would be a 4-hour show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you what, as far as rabbit holes go, I'm doing some research on a place we did, and it involves some mafia stuff. You want to talk about rabbit holes? Oh my God, dude.
We've opened up
crazy.
so many doors that we still have to research all these other. It's just crazy what opening that one door opened probably about 100 more doors, and then those doors. I mean, it keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper the more we look into it. It's just crazy.
And it's not the Purple Gang either, because everybody in Toledo, anytime they talk about mafia, it's the Purple Gang. The Purple Gang's involved in the story, but that's not the focus of this story. And I've never heard anybody tell this story. So
that's good.
We're going to go back there in November again. And
something fresh and new.
Yep. We're going to go back there in November again. We already have paranormal evidence that fits the mafia figure involved. Cool. But we're going to get to go back in November again and hopefully wrap up the filming stuff. And then I can get out, all of my research. I'll tell you what, I've got hundreds of hours at the library and doing research, and it's I've kept it all quiet, but it's a cool story. I actually get to we still got to set it up, but I get to go through this guy's house.
Oh, cool.
And there are special security features, let's say, in this house that are
Yeah.
absolutely crazy. And the people that bought the house, all of his stuff was there. So like all of his records and all of that
And
kind
they
of stuff.
kept
So
it.
they have like a room, they call it the whatever room.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it's like basically like a museum to him.
Mhm.
Awesome.
So
cool.
So I think like I said, I think we'll wrap it up. We're right at an hour. I'm glad you guys came on. This is
Well, we
probably
appreciate
going to be our last show of the season. Well, not of the season, but until after the wedding.
Yeah, after the wedding.
Yeah, because we're going to be definitely busy in October. I know we've got some lectures and things like that coming up with Togs at the libraries. What do you guys have going on in October?
We had a bunch of stuff, but it all got canceled.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were going to speak at a library in Northville, and because of COVID, got canceled. So
Oh, shoot.
we're going to podcast. I think we have. Do we have something? I don't know. We'll have to check.
We may have something on the 8th in Holland, Ohio. They're
Yeah.
doing like a flea market type Halloween sale at one of the baseball diamonds. And they
Okay.
asked us to be there, but I haven't confirmed it yet. But we'll probably be there. But it's not going to be like a paranormal convention or nothing. It's more of like a flea market type thing.
Right.
We'll set up our tent and sell our Bigfoot stuff. And
They're spooky.
Because Jen, you have a internet store, correct?
I do. So I sell on a site called Poshmark, and right now I'm putting up all my Halloween leggings and my skull T-shirts and sweatshirts and all that kind of fun stuff. But Joe and I also we have a T-shirt line for our podcast. So if anybody's interested, just go to our page.
go up on our
Facebook
website,
page.
222paranormal.com, and click on the T-shirts and while you're there, click on the play button or go to iHeartRadio and type in 222 Paranormal Podcast. And I'm telling you, the latest episode, Kimberly Poppy.
Yeah, I'm going to listen to that tomorrow.
You'll
Really
love it.
good.
You'll love it. We love having Kimberly on.
She has a million ghost stories, and they're all related to her auntie.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What's so what platforms does your podcast run on? I know it's on Apple, Spotify.
We're on.
Is it on all of them?
Yep.
Anywhere that you get podcasts from, and we are now on Pandora.
Yeah.
We just got on Pandora after
Exciting.
submitting it a year ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you have Pandora on your phone or on your TV, just click it on and go to podcast, type in 222 Paranormal, and you'll find us.
That's the important thing too, because like I do Spotify. That's just my platform, and it's cool. You guys are on there, and some of the other shows I listen to Joe Rogan and things like that. But that's I think people are almost like brand loyal. You know what I mean? Like if you listen to iHeart, that's what you listen to.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you're not on iHeart, then they're not going to hear you.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
But
But
we really
again-
appreciate you guys having us on. And
Yeah, no, it was a good time. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I got more notes here that like we didn't even touch. So like
And that
I could
happens.
have.
We're noticing that's happening.
Yep.
We're having that more now. At first, it was like we were struggling. Now it's like,
Yeah, I'm
we-
definitely getting more comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a learning curve, and I'm sure you guys, when you guys first started, have you ever listened to like your first one and been like,
Oh, yeah.
oh my god, that is so awkward
We have-
compared to
we
where
have
we're at now?
blooper reels. Like
Yeah.
Joe
I need to make more of those.
makes blooper reels of all of our mistakes, and it's so funny because it'll be like he'll put like 50 of my
We just interviewed a guy that does YouTube videos, and literally it's a 50-minute video or a 50-minute podcast, and my talking in it was about 4 minutes long. I basically just kept going. So what I did, I'll send that to you. I have it
So
somewhere in
funny.
the computer, and basically it's 4 minutes of me going, yeah, yeah.
You know what though? Sometimes like you want to interact with your guests and you want to be a part of your own show, but like sometimes like it's a lot better to go with somebody that will talk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be like, so what'd you do today? Went to the store.
Yeah,
And then they stop like, come on, man, help me out here. I'm like,
yeah.
don't make me ask every question and pull every detail out. You
Yeah,
know,
that's
but
the
it's
hard part because like not everybody's a great interview, right? Like
Yeah.
they want to be on your podcast and they bug you and they want you. I want to be on your podcast, and then you get them on and they're like give you
Yeah.
one good answers, and it's like,
Yep.
it's like, pulling teeth. Like, come on,
Yep.
you know,
And there-
just give me a little ghost story.
And there is, certain people that we'd love to have on. One of my dream people to have on is our friend Adam, and he's a psychic medium
Yeah, Adam.
that is
Talking Weislich?
Right.
Yeah.
Adam.
Is that who you're talking about?
Oh,
Not
it's only been
the
5 years,
famous,
Adam.
not the famous Black Swamp medium. Is that who you're
That's
referring
right.
to?
He's got a
on
show
our
too that's really good.
Yeah.
He does. He's, you know what? I'm introverted as well, and but I just connected with that guy really
Yeah.
early. Like I just love that dude to death. He's one of those guys. Like if you don't like him, you got problems because
Yeah.
he's a super nice guy. So, I think
It's funny because when you're Adam's around, or if you're around Adam, I always feel calmer when I'm around Adam.
Yep.
I don't know why, but I always just, even if I'm kind of on edge, it's just kind of like you just melt. It's like, okay.
His
I'm
giant
cool.
aura.
That's
He's got a 20-foot wide aura.
That's right.
Yep.
And he's great. Like if you ever have questions, he's great. Like I bug him a lot. Not lately, I haven't bugged him because I know he's been having some little ups and downs because I think we all have
right.
that have any sense, like being sensitive or anything. But I mean, he's always willing to help me when I'm trying to figure out how things go.
it's
Because it's like some days it's crazy.
It's funny too because he's like a beacon of peace.
Mhm.
He's all about love and light and positive vibes and all this other stuff. And then he goes out and makes a film with the Booth brothers.
Yeah.
Like, if you've ever seen the stuff that they put out, their fiction stuff is pretty damn gory.
Yeah.
Adam, when is the video
Yeah.
coming out?
Yeah, Adam.
Adam, we were
Adam.
talking about you.
All right, dude. We know you're still in here, Adam. So
He
you're gonna have
ran
to
away.
answer.
He's like, these people are crazy.
No, I think- But that's a page that I promoted too a little bit. It's called Never Blink is their latest film. It was filmed at the Collingwood Art Center. Okay, let's see. It's deep stuff to be truth.
But to be
upgrading.
truthful, I'm upgrading.
He's upgrading. What does that mean?
I don't know.
There's some small hope in November.
Okay.
Hopefully he's talking about like Dana said, he's had some issues and stuff, and I think sensitive people and mediums go through times where they're just like,
Oh, yeah.
"Urgh,"
Yeah.
and I think,
Yeah.
and I don't know this for a fact, but I think he's at one of those you just got to step back for a little bit and ground yourself and then reconnect when you're ready. But
Yeah. Sure.
but yeah, he's a good dude, and
Yeah, we love him.
Yep, I'm pretty sure you can get him to come on your show.
I think
So,
so.
I think after he gets out of this
because
little
we're all
phase,
about snacks
Chocolate.
and
Yeah.
chocolate. Anything crunchy.
Yeah.
I do want to say there is a conspiracy going on in Toledo. There's not one bag of Funyuns anywhere
Oh, wow.
in Toledo, and I'm very upset. Had to get generic Funyuns today because I can't find any.
I heard
Well,
there's a tequila shortage coming too.
Oh no.
Yes.
No.
Yep.
Oh, I'm gonna have to stock up because that's my drink for
Tequila
the
and
wedding.
scotch are
Oh.
going to be hard to find here.
Oh,
Oh, hang on. Don's chiming in. He says,
Uh-oh.
try Bowling Green. So maybe Bowling Green is the Funyuns capital.
I
They're
was
hoarding
gonna
them all
say
up
I
there.
was at.
They've released the Funyuns in BG.
It's like toilet paper.
I was gonna say in Oregon they had Funyuns at Walmart the other day. Just so you know.
Must be a West Toledo thing.
Yeah, because they.
People are so stressed out from all the ghosts over here. They're just like munching.
Yeah.
I gotta eat.
There's a restaurant, and I heard the advertisement today, and I cannot think of who it is, but there's some place that makes fresh homemade Funyuns.
Shut the front
Really?
door.
Oh.
Nope.
Oh.
Why haven't I not heard about this?
It
The
was.
reason I'm on this podcast.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Shelly's stressing out about the Funyuns too. So
She's
So
like, I doubt that margaritas. Now it's
Oh.
got me like almost wanting to get done with this and go to the store and get, because I like this one light peach margarita,
yeah.
and that's what I'm drinking
Cuervo.
at the wedding. And so I'm like, I might need.
Yeah,
Now,
we might have
mind
to
you,
get you a
Jeff
bottle of
makes an amazing margarita, but for the wedding, I just want to have a light colored one.
Uh-huh.
But I'm just like, I might have to go grab and just make sure I get them.
Who
At the
doesn't
liquor
love a
cabinet
margarita?
with the shopping cart.
Right.
Let me in. Sing Mary.
I'll be running through the store. I need margaritas and I need Funyuns so I can pass them out.
Well, I'll tell you what, if I see them, I'll buy you a bag and
Awesome.
let you know where I can bring them to. So,
Yes.
All right, so we are at an hour and 10 minutes, and we are definitely going to wrap this up this time. Although Joe has something else to say.
Oh, I was going to say, this is what happens on a podcast. It's not all ghosty
Right.
stuff. It's all the
Yeah.
stuff edited out.
Snakes.
Well, I think but too, like, the people that watch us, it's like you do connect with those people, and the people that watch you and listen to your show, it's like they almost know you a little bit on a personal level.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't think they like to hear about the Funyuns, the margaritas. You know what I'm saying? They like to hear that personal stuff, and that's what that's a way to connect with people, to get them to listen to your ghosty stuff.
Right. We reel them in. We're like
Well, again-
dangle the snacks out.
Yeah. Thanks
Well,
for
again-
having us on.
Yeah, appreciate
Like
you
Thank you
said,
guys for
everybody,
coming.
Thank you,
Please,
yes.
please go up to Tutu Paranormal and buy a
Yep.
bunch of tickets so that we can gas money to go to conventions.
Right. And definitely hit up what is it? Posh.
Poshmark.
Okay.
Ladies know.
If you
all
go on the
hit-
website, right below the play
Ladies
button,
know.
there's a little sign that says Jen's Poshmark. Click on that. It'll
Yep.
take you right to it, and you can buy all kinds of awesome high-end clothing for super low prices.
That's right.
Cool. Sounds
How's
good.
that for-
These
Hey,
are really
Kim, you got to message me right after this show. So, because I got to tell you about Saturday. So, all right. That was a side note. Nobody heard that but me. All right. We will see you guys later. Thanks for
Bye.
joining
Also,
us.
don't forget, because Jeff, forget, we will be going on a live show the Friday before Halloween on
Yep.
the 29th. So
We're going to get Harold on. We're going to
yeah, and
do like
actually,
campfire, s'mores, ghost
we
stories,
may be
booze,
doing a live with
booze,
Togs and
Tequila.
Blue Productions at the same time.
yeah, simulcast.
So Jeff wants to see me going team between the two Boo Productions and Togs. So
the theory is we got okay. If you've never like been around Harold drinking and
the
him
best
telling ghost stories,
the best.
that
I
is
mean,
my
that
I
is
can't even
TV
imagine.
show entertainment.
you're like on pins and needles waiting for the next thing, and you think it's going to be one thing, and it's like, oh my god, it goes a totally different direction. I like live for his ghost stories.
his
now, so.
resurrection cemetery story.
Oh,
man, if
yeah.
we can,
I'm definitely
We
gonna
tried
tune in.
to the last time he told it, we tried to record it, and he caught us recording it. So we didn't get it, but it's
No,
one of
there's-
the best ones.
but
ever.
there is a couple times, and I got to get his permission before I would ever put it out. But there's a couple times where I filmed him where he didn't know. it.
Didn't know it, yeah,
Yeah,
and
caught
the
him.
stories are amazing. So
So, all right. Well, again, this is the
Thank you.
the last time for real.
Congratulations on the wedding. So
Oh,
Thank you all
thank
for
you.
coming. Yep. Thank you.
wonderful
All
wedding.
right,
will-
thanks.
Talk to you guys later.
All right.
All right, see
Bye,
ya.
guys.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.